Now, this is a story right here that many of you probably are or may not be aware of. Of course, maybe by the time I upload the video, you will become a little bit more aware of what's going on. But this story actually has kind of taken a life of its own because of the response from the people when it comes to the facts of the story. Now, this woman's name is Jayana Tanae Webb. She is 21 years old. She is from PA. And she was involved in an accident in which she was under the influence. And because of that, she ended up crashing her vehicle, which ended up with the deaths of 2 state troopers. So they got her on a DWI. Now, the 2 state troopers that were hit happened to both be PC men. Now, I'm going to leave that part right there, read the article, and then tell you the response that was given to the story, because the response actually may shock you. An alleged drunk driver accused of killing 2 Pennsylvania state troopers and the pedestrian, the duo, were helping, recently boasted to her Twitter followers she was the best drunk driver ever. Jayana Tanae Webb, age 21, faced 3 counts of third-degree murder after prosecutors said she mowed down troopers Brandon Siska, age 29, Martin Mack III, age 33, along with pedestrian Reyes Rivera Oliveras, age 28, on the shoulder of I-95 Monday night in Philadelphia. The deadly crash unfolded as troopers were responding to a call of a person walking in the southbound lanes of the busy interstate highway near the Broad Street exit, the station said. Webb allegedly admitted to driving under the influence and reportedly cried as she was arraigned on 18 felony counts, including 2 counts of manslaughter of a law enforcement officer. Both of the troopers left behind wives. Mack had 2 children, and Siska's widow is pregnant, according to fundraising sites. Earlier this year, the suspect had taken to Twitter to brag about her alleged illegal activity. "If you ask me, I'm the best drunk driver ever," she tweeted on January 15th. Now, I'll have to say this. That was probably not the smartest thing to tweet, considering the outcome of this. That's one major con or strike that's going to be held against her for sure. Webb's feed featured other alcohol-related tweets amid a steady stream of often vulgar stream of consciousness updates. "Why did the liquor store close so early?" she wrote on February 5th, alongside a frowning emoji. Her account was bombarded by critical comments in the wake of the fatal crash. Now, with that being said, the response to this story was actually way different than I actually thought it would be. Now, we know that we as black people in the black community have a very iffy rapport when it comes to law enforcement, especially those who are PC. Not saying any others don't treat us the way that they do, because there are some in there that do. But we know who the main culprits usually are. And when I was looking through the comment section or the thread on Twitter, when I saw this story actually be posted, you had a lot of people in there really not feeling anything about what happened to the 2 cops that she hit. They really kind of felt bad, more so for the pedestrian than the cops, than anything. And shocked to your surprise, maybe, or to your disbelief, there was a lot of people who don't look like us who felt nothing. You know how I always like to say I feel nothing? It was a lot of them that felt the same exact way. And here's the thing. The law enforcement in this establishment that we call the United States of America, even though, like I said, they're only united in name, because otherwise they are very, very divided, has literally shot themselves in the foot over and over and over again, to the point where a lot of people have become desensitized to when bad things happen to them. They'll see it as a form of karma. And granted, the 2 cops that she hit could probably be squeaky clean. They could probably not have any kind of bad things attached to their record. However, they have left a stain on America as a whole. And I think with what happened with George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery, Breonna Taylor, Dante Wright, and so many others, especially since all of that is like a culmination of the last 2 years that I'm talking about. It literally has reached a boiling point. It's like a powder keg, and people have become really not, they don't really care about them anymore. I mean, for crying out loud, they literally had a whole campaign going of defund the police. Now, I don't know how successful that is or will ever become, but the fact that it was a campaign for it says a lot, because at one point that was never even a thought. And law enforcement, they've literally gotten their egos inflated, and all these years of many of them getting off and getting away with a lot of things, it has really gotten to that point. I've done stories on my channel where you've had law enforcement who were driving under the influence and have caused accidents, and barely anything happens to them. You had Ethan Couch, aka Affluenza Boy, who got drunk under the influence, driving without a license, underage, a minor, and theft, because he took his parents' vehicle and went joyriding and killed 4 people, and all he got was a probation, because he had something called affluenza, meaning he was too young. No, not too young. He was too wealthy, too rich to understand the consequences of his actions. I will never forget that. That has to be one of the top white privilege cases I have ever heard in my life. And of course, you know what happened later on. I don't have to go into all of that. So when you couple all of that on there, people are saying, well, why can't she get the affluenza thing? That's what a lot of people are asking. Are people going to bring up Ethan Couch? Or people going to bring up the bad misdeeds that a lot of these cops have been doing? That's what the comment section looked like. As a matter of fact, I'll leave the link to where the story came from, and you can go look at the thread yourself. Now, granted, some of them may not actually mean what they're saying. They could be trolling and saying that. But the point of the matter is, in America, if Jayana was a white woman, it makes you wonder how the response would have been. Now, granted, she's most likely going to be doing some serious time behind bars. And now that tweet that she posted about being the best drunk driver ever, that did not come after this incident. This was from a previous time, or whenever she was driving, that didn't result in an accident that resulted in death. It was just that she was driving under the influence, and apparently she knew she was drunk because she was coherent enough to tweet that she was the best drunk driver ever. I said, now that tweet is going to come back to bite her, because like they were saying, she seemingly is bragging about driving under the influence, and that's not something that one should brag about. I will say that. I'm going to be fair and balanced here. That was very dumb on her part to tweet something that ridiculous. And they said that she tweeted something else after that, because the first one came in January 15th, which of course, that was MLK. And then she says, why did this liquor store close so early on February 5th? So now they're going to make it seem like they're going to use those tweets against her and say that she just has the problem with drinking and under the influence. It's just that this time, 3 people died, and those 3 people, they're not going to come back. So and the thing is, we can sit and talk, say how much we feel nothing on the internet, but the fact of the matter is, the families of those 3 are going to come down on her hard. They're going to come on her. They're going to come for her head. So I'm not going to sit here and say she ain't going to do time in jail, because I have a big feeling she is, especially because of those tweets. Those tweets does not paint her in a good light, because they're going to say, oh, if you just let her out, she's just going to go and do it again. She's not going to learn from this. But yeah. And then, there was images of when she was being taken in where they said she was crying, and I saw the pictures that she was crying. I just didn't want to put that up here. Them family's not going to care about her tears. They're not, because they're going to look back at what she posted on social media and saying she enjoys doing this. Like, she gets a high off of this. Like, this is her. It's almost like her kink. So while we are sitting here saying, we feel nothing and everything like that, because, we feel like that could be karma towards law enforcement and how they've dealt with black people in America, especially since she's a black woman herself. because she's a black woman, they're going to throw the book at her. And they're going to throw the book, the bookshelf, the library, Barnes and Nobles, all of that. And then she killed, 2 of the people that she killed were state troopers. And you already know how they going to get. But yeah. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. If you are new, make sure you hit that bell to be notified whenever I upload a new video or go live.